All right, and we are back. 2019. I'm not that optimistic. I do like black coffee though. Well, actually, I like coffee, but I've been drinking black coffee. I'm started doing intermediate fasting, so black coffee it is. This is Today in Art. This is January 8th, 2019. How was your Christmas and New Year's? Oh, you don't celebrate Christmas? That kind of sucks for you, doesn't it? I'm not religious, but I still celebrate Christmas because it's a fun time of year. Anyway, so it's already. Damn it! I started saying I want to do one of these a week every week this year, but it's already past the first week in January, so I'm off to a good start. Anyway, this is Today in Art. This is the podcast where I'm attempting to do it at least once a week on current, semi-current, maybe something I didn't know about. I find interesting that happened a couple months ago. I'll talk on it. But essentially, art related in some way, news that I'm doing a podcast on. Why am I doing that? Well, it gives me a weekly show on YouTube to keep up with the what's the word, the continuity? No. What's the word I'm looking for? Continuity? Collusion? No, not that word. Well, basically I'm going to do one every week to have a kind of a regular scheduled thing. Also, I'm putting this on Anchor. Anchor is a podcast platform. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, you can do it on Anchor. Then from Anchor, it should shoot it out to other platforms. Quit licking that. I think it's put mine out on 9 different other things. It's you put it on Anchor and people can listen to it on Anchor. Then it also put it out to, it's supposed to put it out to iTunes too, but mine hasn't been on there yet. But Pocket Cast and Google Pocket, Google whatever, then it's on Spotify. So that's cool. My dog's licking his affection on his paw. He thinks I'm not paying attention. Anyway, so like I was saying, I was wanting to do these once a week to do podcasts, so I can force myself to keep myself informed on art, fine art, going-ons, news, national, international, local, whichever I like. Then also you can listen to this or watch this, and you can keep yourself informed as well. And I'll try to be somewhat entertaining in the process if I can. It just depends how much coffee I have. So we'll see how this goes. So let's start off 2019 with some painted toilets and a big middle finger. All right, here we go. So I was searching for some stuff, and I actually found one on Reason, which is very interesting. I didn't realize they really did kind of art stuff, but it's Brickbat, art for art's sake. Michael Spiess has sued the Winslow Township, New Jersey for malicious prosecution after officials there charged him twice for failure to remove trash/debris from outside his home. But what a code enforcement officer called trash, Spiess insists is art. That includes 3 toilets, 1 painted red, 1 white, and 1 blue, outside his home, containing a display of plastic flowers, as well as an artistic array of doll parts, and also Confederate flags and a Trump 2020 flag. Spiess was convicted on these charges, but the conviction was overturned in appeal. So if you click on that, it actually takes you to the actual it's like the local news, I believe, the Courier Post. And here's the actual longer story. Here's the photos too. If you're it's basically 3 toilets, red, white, and blue, with some flags and stuff sticking out. Let's go actually down here. You got the toilets in the yard. Yeah, I just clicked the... What are you doing? It's a little kid on a horsey thing, carousel thing. Some more stuff. It says yard. It's a very lovely yard. The greatest yard. The best yard of them all. So when we get into this little... This is like the actual news article they were referencing. It's Winslow. A man who decorated his property with toilets and Confederate flags has sued the township for alleged violations of his civil rights. You're like, why is this an R thing? We'll get to this. Michael Spee contends he was the victim of malicious prosecution after Winslow Township officials brought charges over the eye-catching items outside his home. The displays in question might seem more fit for a loo than the Louvre. A play on words. According to his lawsuit, Speece placed 3 toilets, 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue, outside his home on West Factory Road. The toilets held a display of plastic flowers as well as an artistic array of doll parts, the suit says. Speece also flew Confederate flags as part of the use and enjoyment of his property. According to the suit, the bathroom installation is just a small part of an eclectic exhibit outside Speece's home. A statue of Uncle Sam holds a Confederate flag near a no trespassing sign at the Winslow home of Michael Speece. In one area of the front yard, a small statue of Uncle Sam stands near the plastic skeleton of a large bird, possibly a vulture. Make sure I'm... Nearby, a small boy is riding a carousel pony like Uncle Sam. The child is holding a Confederate flag. A massive parrot peeks over the backyard fence, looking towards several disembodied heads on stakes. A Trump 2020 flag flaps above the fence. A tragic light hangs in the yard beyond. One consistent theme is provided by signs that warns visitors to keep their distance. No animals, no vehicles, no people, no excuses, reads the one beneath the bird's skeleton. The lawsuit asserts Speece's display represents their creator's artistic expression and freedom of speech and display of his patriotism. Artistic expression and freedom of speech. 2 township officials apparently saw it differently in early 2017. Woodrow Cuffey, a code enforcement officer, and Lee Cavafes, an animal control officer, inspected the property without probable cause or a search warrant, the suit alleges. It says Speece was charged twice, on February 15th and March 15th, 2017, with failure to remove trash/debris. I want to say debris, but it's debris. Speece then faced prosecution in a Winslow Municipal Court, including penalties and fines and requiring him to remove the items on his private property, the lawsuit says, which that pisses me off. On his property? You want me to remove my stuff off of my property? We'll get into it. But his conviction was overturned on appeal by Superior Court Judge Sherry Schwartzer in Camden, who indicated the township's actions violated Speece's civil rights according to the suit. The lawsuit contends the township violated civil rights, include Speece's freedom of speech and the free and unhampered use of one's private property. Hooray to Sherry. It also says Speece was charged with violating an ordinance intended to address overgrown grass and other problems relating to a property's health, safety, and sanctions conditions. As a result, the suit contends township officials lack probable cause to charge Speece with any violation. An attorney for the township, Eric Riso of Stratford, declined to comment on the suit, which seeks unspecific damages and expenses. Speece's lawyer, David Castellini, I don't know, of Northfield could not be reached for comment. He filed the suit December 28th in State Superior Court in Camden. So about this thing, I guess I'll start off with, I am originally from North Carolina. I grew up there. So I'm originally like from the South, a very kind of country part of the South. So I don't know if it's a north-south thing or it's kind of a country suburb city thing, but like I'm very like libertarian in like this is my property. You don't tell me what the fuck to do on my property. If you want to come here and try to tell me what the fuck to do, you'll leave with a belly full of lead type of mentality. That's just me. I understand getting into cities. It's not like you don't have a whole, couple acres of land to your own. That's like, cause like right now I'm living in an apartment, so I can't really be as loud as I want to be. But if I buy a house, fucking blowing the fucking speakers out the fucking window. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like it. Somebody coming to your property and trying to tell you what to do kind of irks me. On that, I mean, this is in, what did it say? It's in Jersey. I'd never been to Jersey, but I'm assuming it's not all the city. So it looks very, what's the word? White trash? Maybe not. I don't know. I see a Confederate flag. I think white trash, but that's just a stereotype, I guess. I mean, where I'm from, like, because I know that's a big issue too. Is like, oh, that's a defeated army. That's pure racism. Like, no, from the South, it's like your great grandfather that was part of the Confederate Army, or your grandfather, however old you are, is like it's about state over federal. I mean, it may be with slavery or whatever, but it's about individual rights over the state, which in modern day terms is kind of like the libertarian capitalists versus these like democratic socialists trying to come up. I don't know how I got political, but whatever. But there's that. But you get into free expression and free art or public art. I don't think they call it public art here. I think they just call it artistic expression and freedom of speech. I'm very pro free speech. And you would think that artists are, but it seems nowadays that they are if you agree with them. Here we get political again. Especially living in the city, a lot of artists are very liberal. And they're in their own little echo chamber and stuff. And like you bring like other like conservative ideas to them, and like sometimes they just freak out on you. Like, I probably said this before, but like not all artists are or should be liberal. Well, it depends how you mean liberal too. It means like, are you socially liberal? I guess I kind of am, yeah. Fiscally, no. I'm very. It's get out of my shit. Stay out of my shit. You do your thing. If you're not hurting anybody else, you do your thing, but just stay out of my shit. That's what I'm getting at. Baseline. So I thought that was interesting. I was looking for an article, which kind of reminded me of another kind of public art thing. And this happened. This has happened like maybe a month ago. It says Vermont man gives his town the middle finger and officials can't do anything about it. So basically in this case here, make sure I'm still recording. Alright. So basically in this case here, this guy was talking about he has a long running dispute with his town. So in response to that, he erected a 7-foot tall sculpture of a middle finger. The artwork is a raised middle finger carved from a 700-pound block of pine and perched atop a 16-foot pole on the property. This thing is massive. I fucking love this guy. This is awesome. This is fantastic. Huge. Cause I've done like a middle finger like life sculpture, but it's just the size of my hand. This thing's like taller than people. It's 7 foot tall. Uh, he has it like lit up at night too. And basically, his big issue was he was trying to get a 8,000 square foot garage built on his 11-acre property. Like he has this 11 acres is a lot, and he wants to put a garage because basically he's trying to put a business there. So well, he says we've been trying to put a business there for the past 10 years. It's just never ending. They're railroading us really good. Apparently he wants to, like, he's putting in this he's trying to be putting this in, and they're like being like real nitpicky about like not wanting him to have it there. It says Pelkey's business is now about 25 miles northwest of Swanton, where he said he's running out of space. His main business is cleaning spools for a monofilament line company. They also do some truck repair on the side. He's saying it's a low impact thing. They have such little traffic you wonder if we're open. Allison Hope, chairwoman of the Westford Select Board, said Pelkey's application for a building permit fell short of the points they needed in the development review boards. I understand that there are certain codes and shit, but still, if I have 11 acres and I want to build something, I'm going to build something. And I probably have the 11 acres fenced off. See, I have student loans, so getting a house is not in my cards. But if I was to get some property, I would probably have it all. Saying I had the money, if I had the property, I'd probably have it all fenced off so nobody can even because there's like these city code people that would I think at my dad's place, there were just people just going by and oh, you got to build a fence to cover that up or whatever, because he just had stuff there, and he didn't build a fence to fucking I'm like, this, are you fucking serious? I'm like, I would have a fence so nobody can get in, so nobody can get close to even seeing what I'm doing, and just do whatever I want. I understand that probably won't work out like that, but in my head, in my head, that's what it's like. So they deny his initial thing. Notice of the decision that the town provided to Burlington Free Press listed a variety of reasons for the denial, including the application does not describe the proposed use of the structure, and that it does not include the necessary information about lighting that will likely be needed for security purposes. And the giant middle finger, ? He apparently can do what he's done, Hope said of the sculpture. Hope had the town's planning coordinator look at zoning regulations, and the town could not stop the finger from being raised. It's not advertising a business or service, so it's not a billboard. Banned in Vermont. I didn't know you couldn't have billboards in Vermont. That's interesting. She said instead it falls under the category of public artwork. So, if you ever want to do something, call it public artwork. Kind of like the other story about the toilets and the Confederate flags and the Trump 2020 and all that stuff. Yeah, I said that. Pelkey's not the first to come up with the idea of the particular kind of protest. 2010, there's an Italian sculpture carved a middle finger out of marble, which is crazy. Titled it Love. Displayed it for a month in front of the Milan Stock Exchange. A strip club owner bought the house next to his ex-wife. This is super petty. Michigan erected a 12-foot bronze middle finger statue in the backyard, visible from her windows. And in January, of 2018, 4 glistening ice sculptures of middle fingers were displayed on King Street in Toronto to protest the city's pilot project that clamps down on private vehicles on the streets in favor of mass transit. His lawyer is saying, I think what I would say is he doesn't feel like the town of Westford has given him a fair shake. It's saying he appealed the Development Review Board's decision 8 weeks ago in a mediated discussion and is still waiting for a decision from the board. He declined to comment on what the discussion in the mediation was, citing his confidentiality. I don't want to torpedo the process myself, Monaghan said. Generally speaking, I thought we had a plan forward. Then it just shows where it's at here. So, if people are not working the way you want them to, erect a giant middle finger, call it public art on your own property, and apparently nothing can be done. But I just thought this story was interesting, and it kind of reminded me of hearing about the giant middle finger too. So, I think that's all I'm going to cover today, because today is 8th. I'm going to try to get this up on YouTube and Anchor. Contemplating if I want to upload these directly to Facebook. I don't know, this whole putting whatever we're on social media stuff is getting kind of antsy, and where you want to put what where, and if you want to create like a specific thing. Because I thought about with these, if I get into it's enough and it picks up enough traction, I may create its own like Facebook page and its own Instagram, possibly. Because right now on Instagram, I just like put whatever the YouTube thumbnail is and like list it out on my personal page and just have it on YouTube. Then Anchor does its thing. But like I said, I'm informing myself. If you listen to this, you can inform yourself with certain art news. And if it's anything that's kind of like smart ass related, I'm all on that. But yeah. So have a good day. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're gonna like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're on Anchor, I think you can subscribe to that, and Spotify and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to get out one of these a week. Think about doing it on the weekend when I have time, but I mean today's Tuesday. So I'm thinking one a week. If a certain story comes up that really catches my eye, like there's a Banksy thing that came up, I'll do it then. So, but I would say Patreon if you want to support me, but the way they've done Sargon of Akkad, I think I'm pulling out all my stuff on Patreon, but that's another discussion. So I may, if anybody's interested, I may set up a thing on, I have a thing set up on PayPal, and it should be under my business email address, which is chris@christopherpack.com. But if not, whatever, it's cool. I got t-shirts and stuff too through my Teespring, which I think I'll probably list under all this stuff. But have a good day. Do a little bit of public art, drink some coffee, and have a good day. All right, I think that's it. I think we're out of here. Goodbye.